You've been lied to. If you've heard that really great negotiators don't get emotional but stay rational, then you have gotten really bad information. And here's why. Because every human being actually has emotions. So when it comes to conflict and negotiation, the question is not whether or not to have emotions, but whether your emotions will actually have you. The reality is that there's no workplace, from a hospital to a school to a company to a nonprofit, that I've ever gone into where there was a little box on the way in that said deposit your feelings here for pickup later this afternoon. And to the degree that is true, it means your goal in a negotiation, your goal in a conflict, is to figure out how to handle your emotions well and effectively, not how not to have them. And so today, I'm going to give you some tips for managing your emotions in negotiation, difficult conversations, and conflict. I'm Bob Bordone. I'm a senior fellow at Harvard Law School. I'm the founder and former director of Harvard Law School's Negotiation and Mediation Clinical Program, and I'm the founder and principal of the Cambridge Negotiation Institute. First thing I want to say, which will strike some of you as an insight and some of you as obvious, but it's this. The rational and emotional sides of ourselves are linked and inextricable, and very importantly, emotions actually help us make good decisions. So let me just give you the most basic example of that. You are walking down the street and you see some people coming at you with a bat. You feel fear and panic. And what do? Run the other way probably, or duck into an alley. Guess what's helping you make that very good decision? Their emotions, the emotions of panic and fear. So seeing or reframing the way we think about our feelings, seeing them as a tool that can actually help us make some good decisions is really important, because just like that happens on the street in a negotiation, when we're feeling different feelings, it's telling us, it's giving us some information. And the question is, how are we going to use that? And that really links to a second important piece that I want to share with you, which is when I'm in a negotiation or when I'm in a conflict, I want to embrace and not evaluate my feelings. And I want to embrace the full range of those feelings. So I want to invite you to do something right now, and maybe you could actually put some of this into the comment section. I want you to think about some time in a conflict when you had a very strong and powerful feeling. You don't need to put the time in, but I want you to think about the feeling. Maybe it was anger or frustration or rage. Now, thinking about that same exact time, write down 3 other feelings you were feeling at the same time. So my guess is that many of you started out with some very loud feeling, a feeling like anger or frustration or rage, like the ones I said. And my guess is that for many of you, the 3 other feelings might be things like shame, vulnerability, sadness, confusion, loss. The reason why I'm asking you to do this is because most of us actually have a fair amount of emotional complexity. And becoming fully aware of the full range of our emotions is the first step we have to helping us make a wise decision at the negotiation table. So for example, if I'm only focused on the anger, I might walk away or say something really unconstructive across the table. If I'm also feeling a sense of alienation, loss, and concern, and I've walked away, now I'm in a worse spot than before. But if I'm aware of the fact that I feel angry and also alienated, concerned, and lost, that's actually useful information. And what we know, and this leads to the next step, is that when you name emotions to yourself, it actually helps reduce the amount of time this automatic reaction, right, the emotional reaction that comes from the amygdala, it reduces the amount of time the amygdala in our brain is controlling our reaction and moves us back to the frontal lobe, which is the more rational side. And that then empowers me to actually consider directly sharing with the other side, not just the anger, but the full range of emotion. And that actually helps us make better decisions in difficult conversations, in conflict, and in negotiation. If I say to you, when you did that, it made me really angry, that's probably a pretty skillful way of sharing an emotion, but it's not fully complete. If I say to you, when you did that, it made me feel angry, lost, concerned, and alienated, unless you're a total jerk, I've probably drawn you in a little bit. I've probably actually helped advance a more productive conversation and a more productive negotiation. Now, I want to be clear here because I've skipped a little bit of a step. I think this work of understanding your full range of feelings is really important. I don't think you always need to share that set of feelings. I think you need to actually assess whether and when it makes sense to do so. So embedded in that is some more advice for you, because part of the advice is actually at times feelings are the heart of the matter. Maybe we're fighting about the annual fee my company is going to pay to yours, but actually the real concern is I feel angry, alienated, worried, and concerned about the way you've been treating me in this business relationship. And that is getting translated as a fight about how much I'm going to pay you. If we want this working relationship to continue over time, getting the right dollar amount is never going to solve the fact that I feel alienated, angry, and concerned. The only way we will solve that is if we talk about that. Now, if my main reason for sharing the feelings is to vent, is to make you feel bad, is to extract a concession, those are not good reasons to share feelings. So the work of thinking of the full range of feelings, actually naming them to ourselves so that we can move our decision making from the amygdala to the frontal lobe, then helps us assess whether it makes sense to share the feelings. The last thing I want to say about this is if you choose to share your feelings in a negotiation or in a difficult conversation, you need to make some room for them. You need to ask them, what is their reaction? Now, people who are quite emotionally skilled and intuitive will probably already appreciate your move. Others will think, where is this person coming from? And you might get a reaction like, this is not about feelings, let's just do business. It's not helpful to get into a fight about whether it's feelings or not. Just respond to them by saying, well, what is your reaction to what I've shared? I have no reaction. Let's get back to the business. So for you, it's really important to just work on the business. Yep. Fair enough. Actually, for me, there are two sets of concerns here. So in other words, if the feelings haven't been addressed, you're not going to let them off the hook. So for more tools on how to succeed in negotiation and difficult conversations, watch this next video, The Art of Persuasion for Professional Success. And if you want to make my amygdala feel really good, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell. Okay, it's not difficult to keep watching. Click, click.